All right, welcome to day 4 of our Adventure Science Week. We're still going to be exploring our backyard, and this time we're going to be combining science with history. So this is day 4, Paleontologists, History in the Making. So, as I mentioned before, today we're going to be paleontologists. A paleontologist is someone who studies fossils. So we're going to be putting on our paleontology hats today and becoming paleontologists. So on the agenda, you're going to be thinking about what you already know. Why are fossils important? Then we're going to take a look at different kinds of fossils. I'll explain the activities. And then we're going to have a discussion. And that'll be on the template. There'll be some questions for you to answer. Okay, so what do we already know? So think about what you already know about fossils, because you might already know what they are. But we're going to talk about that right now. So take a few minutes, just a couple of seconds even, to just think about what you already know about fossils. Okay, so let's answer some questions. What is a fossil? A fossil is the remains of a creature that lived long ago. So when creatures pass away, when animals pass away, they leave traces behind. They leave bones, they leave footprints, they leave basically information for us through what's left of their bodies that tell us what they were like long ago. Why are fossils important? Well, they tell us a lot about the past. Most of what we know about what life was like on Earth before humans were here is because of fossils. And we're also going to be talking about organisms. What is an organism? An organism is an individual living thing. So a rose bush is an organism because it's a living thing. A tree, an ant or an insect, your dog or cat or your bunny, you yourself are an organism because you're an individual living thing. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some different kinds of fossils. So the first is called a cast fossil. It's dirt filled into the shape of the dead organism. So this is a cast fossil. This is a shell from long ago that has dirt filled into it, and that's kept it really, it just kept it preserved. Preserved means it hasn't decayed, it hasn't worn out, it hasn't broken down at all. It still looks the same that it did thousands of years ago. So this is a cast fossil right here. Then you have a mold fossil. That doesn't mean mold like the stuff that grows on your bread when you leave it out for too long. A mold fossil is the outside shape of the dead organism. So this is the cast fossil. This, on the other side, is the mold fossil. So as you can see, this was probably on top of this. And it's actually formed the shape, including all the lines of the shell of the organism that was once alive. So this is a mold fossil. A trace fossil is a trace left of an animal, but it's not the actual animal. So it wouldn't be the animal's bones, it wouldn't be the teeth or the ribs of the animal. It would just be something left behind that lets us know that there was an animal there. So as you can see here, example is a footprint. These aren't actually the feet of the animal themselves, but it is the print that the actual feet made in the dirt thousands of years ago. A trail would also be an example. So if they left a trail with their footprints or by dragging their tail, or their home. So if you found a cave that a dinosaur lived in or a nest that a dinosaur lived in, you could explore that and that would tell you about them as well. And then finally, we have a true form fossil, which is a fossil of the whole entire organism. So this is the organism that's been preserved completely. It can be a full set of bones. It can be a couple of bones from a dinosaur. As you can see in this picture, this is what we call amber. This is this rock kind of thing that's kind of formed around this spider is called amber. It's actually tree sap. So this spider, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, was walking along He was like, oh, that's a nice looking tree. I'm going to climb that tree. He climbed the tree. He went inside. And he found a hole and he was like, oh, cool, never been inside a tree before. Let's see what this is all about. So he climbed inside the tree. And all of a sudden he was like, oh no! And it got really sticky because, you know, trees have sap. Sap is that kind of sticky stuff that trees make we get on our hands sometimes. Oh, there's a lot more inside the tree. So this guy climbed inside and he got stuck in the sap. And he couldn't get out. And so unfortunately for this poor guy, he passed away. And what happens is more sap keeps developing, the tree keeps making sap. And so eventually his whole body got covered in sap. And the sap is so strong that it turns into a stone, a clear kind of orangey stone called amber. And you can see the whole fossil in there and it preserves it. That means that it keeps it just the way that it was when it died. Nothing happens to it and it stays like that for thousands of years. Okay, so now it's our turn. We're going to be making our own fossils today. You don't have to make all of them. You can choose one that you want to do. If you want to try making all of them, you're more than welcome to. So the first fossil we're going to make is called a flower press fossil. I'll also post videos. I'll link some videos of people showing you how to do them, just in case you're still feeling unsure, but I'll also talk you through it. So you're going to need flowers from your garden, probably small or thinner ones just because it'll take less time, wax paper or a paper towel, and then something really heavy like a book, something really heavy that you can find in your house. What you're going to do is you're going to take your flower from the garden. You're going to bring it into your house. You're going to get a paper towel or wax paper, and you're going to put that wax paper on the kitchen counter or on a table. Then you're going to put your flower on top of that, on top of the wax paper, and then you're going to get another piece of wax paper or a paper towel, and you're going to put that on top of your flower. So you're kind of making a flower sandwich. So you have your flower in between two pieces of wax paper or a paper towel. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get something that's really heavy, and you're going to put it on top of your paper towel with the flower inside of it. What this is going to do is it's going to squish the flower way down, and it's going to take the moisture out of it, and after a few hours, you're going to leave it for a few hours, you're going to come back, and it's going to be this beautiful pressed flat flower fossil. Alright. The next fossil is something maybe that you've done before. So what you're going to do is, well, first I'll tell you what you need. You need a white piece of paper, 3 to 5 leaves. So if you just get one leaf that you really like, that's okay too. And you'll need crayons or pastels. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your leaves, you're going to come inside, and you're going to find a piece of white paper. You're going to place your leaf underneath the piece of paper, not on top of it, underneath it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make sure the veinier side, so leaves have a soft, flat side, and then if you flip them over on the underside, you can really see the veins of the leaves. You want to make sure that you are using that side, because that's going to give you the best results that look more like this and like this if you use the underside of the leaf. So you're going to put your leaf underneath your piece of paper. Then you're going to get a crayon or a pastel, and you're going to lay it flat on top of the piece of paper right over the leaf, and you're just going to rub it out. You're going to rub it so that it leaves the color, and what you're going to do is you're going to go like this with one of your crayons, and it's going to turn out, it's going to copy the shape of the leaf underneath. Okay, and then the last one is called an ice cube flower fossil. So you'll need flowers and leaves from your backyard, water from your faucet, an ice cube tray, a cup, or a bowl. What you're going to do is you're going to cut the flowers so that you just really have the buds. The bud is the part where the actual petals are. What you're going to do is you're going to put those buds inside of a cup or an ice cube tray or a bowl. You're going to fill that bowl or cup or ice cube tray up with water from your faucet, and then you're going to stick it in your freezer. You're going to leave it there for quite a while. You can check on it to see if it's frozen. But after, you're going to take it out, and it's going to make these beautiful fossils, kind of like the amber. These melt. Amber doesn't really melt. But you're going to have fossils that are kind of like the fossils that you saw that the spider was in. This is kind of our version of a true form fossil. Oh wait, there's one more. Sorry. So this is the air dry clay fossil. I don't know if you guys have air dry clay. You can also use Play-Doh. So if you have Play-Doh, you can use it as well. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. This is just an extra one just in case if you really want to do it. You're going to need air dry clay, leaves and flowers, and then paint if you want to. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your clay or your Play-Doh and you're going to find a leaf or a flower and you're going to press it flat really hard into your clay or your Play-Doh so that it leaves a mark. It leaves basically an impression. This is what an impression is. It's when the leaf has been pressed down and it leaves a mark that looks exactly like it. So you're going to, until it makes an impression, then you're going to slowly peel it up like this guy is doing. You're going to peel up the leaf and it's going to leave an impression. And if you leave that Play-Doh or that air dry clay to dry, it'll make it hard like this, and you can even make it into a gift for a family member. The paint is optional. If you want to, you can paint over it and even make it different colors, or you can just leave it the way it is. So those are the 4 options for some cool projects. So then when you're doing your template, I'm going to ask you what you learned and what did you enjoy the most, and I'm going to ask you some questions about also about fossils. Alright kiddos, that's the video for today. I hope you really enjoy this project and you have a lot of fun with it, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!